this issue of AI. And when you say accelerationist versus Luddite, there's accelerationists in every vertical, whether it's quantum computing, whether it's advanced chip design, whether it's regenerative robotics, or it's artificial general intelligence and biotechnology. And a couple of these, we have no earthly idea what's going on in these labs behind the scenes. Joe Allen, put it in perspective and make it make sense to me, sir.
You know, Steve, the accelerationists versus the Luddites is a really, really important point. We'd hit that with Peter Thiel, and you know, he positions himself as an accelerationist, a cautious accelerationist. And the idea behind accelerationism, there's kind of two camps. One just simply sees artificial intelligence or, military robotics or genetic engineering, all of these things as inevitable. And therefore, in order to keep up in this new world that's being created, we have to accelerate the progress of technology to keep up. But then, you know, really, when I think of accelerationists generally, I think of those who just upon their own volition, they want to drive things forward because they believe that is the way things should go. Transhumanists, obviously, hardcore accelerationists in most instances. And there's no caution there. There's no sense that to the extent there's any caution, any downside they consider to be worth it, right? Human beings are going to lose their jobs. Oh, well, that's just progress. Human beings are going to develop all these psychological issues. Oh, well, they were just too weak to handle it. Human beings may be destroyed by, warlike, robotic machines. Oh, well, that's just the way it goes. Evolution must proceed. And so the accelerationist mentality is one that, to put it in the sort of Christian framing, is hurtling towards the apocalypse as fast as they possibly can because they believe that that is the right and true way that things should be. The most extreme stuff, artificial general intelligence, radical genetic engineering, very, very sophisticated robotics, those things seem to be right over the horizon, and they always seem right over the horizon, very difficult to see or to tell when they're actually going to manifest or if. But one thing that is definitely happening, what we've been covering on chatbots and the generation of text, and then, of course, the image generators. This is happening right now, and I believe that the technology is already there, and the psychological and social impacts are already there. If Denver could throw up just a few of these images, if you could throw some up from the pretty camp first, just so that the audience is not completely put off. This is very, very typical. There are now just bazillions of these images out there. They're all derived from previous human artwork. So some human being at some point created something sort of like this in this style, and the machine basically scrapes up all that data. And when requested for, say, psychedelic picture of tree or spiritual eyeball with sky or something like that, it produces these things. And you can see, I mean, they're much better than anything I can do. And they're much better than any kind of average artist could do. And I think that the more that these are available, I mean, they're already available readily. The better they get, the more people are just going to turn to them. Traditional graphic artists just simply won't be needed anymore. And more importantly, the more this happens, the more the cultural space is going to fill up with artificial content that was produced just by a bot. And the more convincing that content is, whether it's verbal or pictorial, the more people will just simply accept it. It will fade into the background. It will end up in that strange zone, as it was described as the dead internet theory, right? The conspiracy theory that the internet is full of more bots than human beings. I don't know how long that would take. It wouldn't surprise me if in a matter of years, there's literally more verbal and visual content produced by bots on the internet than there is by human beings, because the output is so rapid. You just ask, and within a second, you've got it.
Whoa. What do you mean? What do you mean years? What do you mean years? It's going to be a year.
Yeah.
My point is, every time you make an estimate, not you, but anybody, it so overwhelms that. It so overwhelms that because these are increasing at an increasing rate. It's accelerating at an accelerating rate. And that's what the accelerationists want. We got to bounce, Joe. We're going to be back on. Everybody get your... But remember, at the core of the accelerationist is the oligarchs' prime focus, which is they want to live forever. It's their ability to live forever. whether it's Zuckerberg, any of these guys, Bezos, that is their number one objective. Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, the whole crowd of them. Okay, they live for other. Whatever happens to you happens to you. Okay, you don't think this is against the basic tenets of the Judeo-Christian West? Okay, Joe, how do people get to you?
You can find a piece if you want to go to the dark side on this. You can find a piece that's up right now, warroom.org under the transhumanism tab, or my site, joebot.xyz. The piece is AI Conjures a Cronenberg Film. It's like gazing into the gates of hell. One of my he's a dark editor or a dark director, one of my favorites, and they recreated a sort of movie out of his material.